against these.
But all right, now let's get over to the guy who pretty much, well, I guess, got these guys so pissed off that they had to go ahead and make what? Try to make a bomb to hurt these people, hurt this guy, which is crazy. But look, man, I don't agree with this guy, Jake Lang, either. I think he's a freaking retard. I'm sorry, I really do. Like, the guy's a retard. He's retarded. But let's be real. He don't deserve to be attacked for what he says. Just ignore this dumbass and just keep it pushing. I'm talking about to the Muslims out there. Ignore this dumbass and keep it pushing. Don't even engage with him. It's not even worth it. Like, guys like him, you can't debate them because they just go off straight ignorance. They go off straight hatred. There's nothing you can do with a guy like this, but just ignore him. Well, what's going on, Sid?
Yo, what's good?
It's all good, man. Shoot, what you thinking so far?
Dude, I'm totally convinced by that Tard video you were playing.
Oh, he convinced you? So what, you think it was a rhyme?
Well, yeah, dude, I think it was an Iranian Tomahawk missile, like the president said.
Hey, well, hold on. I mean, he said other countries use Tomahawks. Other countries.
Yeah.
Not
like
wrong,
Iran. Oh. What
You're
country
right.
did he mean?
Yeah. I'll be real with you. That's what kind of trapped me up too. I'm like, damn it, don't tell me you're trying to insinuate that they got Tomahawks.
Well, that's the same day he said that the war is very much complete and also just the beginning, and that it could be both. So who really knows where this guy is or what he thinks or
yeah,
what he's doing.
Everybody's trying to look for a coherent message on this war. Everybody's looking for one.
Yeah. And the administration can't seem to provide one. See, I don't know if it's like calculated him doing that so that since we live in such a bifurcated like environment, all the people that want to go tell their audience that the war is almost complete and run with that clip of him saying that, and then everyone else can go off them saying like it's just the beginning, or if they're just trying. I don't know if it's calculated on purpose or if it's they just have not got their messaging down at all.
But man, think about it. The way we got into this war kind of seemed like it was a rush decision. Like, think about it. According to Rubio, I mean, how prepared could we be? Israel pulled up to us and said, yeah, we're going to attack them.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. It's like, well, what preparation do we really have?
Which apparently they did to at least Obama. It's confirmed they tried to do the same thing to Obama.
Yeah, I seen the
video. And it seems like he didn't take that seriously. At least he didn't get into a war with Iran.
True. Yeah, he didn't budge on it. So, and it makes a lot of sense why Obama was now rushing to get them into JCPOA, because he kind of knew where the Zionists were going.
Well, that was one of his biggest accomplishments as president, honestly. And I do think the only real reason Trump pulled out of it is because Obama was the one that did it. He just hates Obama. He's that petty.
Yeah, but then, I always do hear the other arguments, but the lifting of sanctions and, he gave them pallets of money. I mean, yeah, when you lift sanctions, you get your money back that we kind of froze up.
Yeah, I hate that framing that people do. It's like, we gave them our own money. No, it was unfrozen assets that were theirs, specifically frozen to have leverage over them in negotiations like this. So if they negotiate, then ideally you use that leverage and give them a fucking carrot,
And we give them back their money, and it's fair is fair. But we kind of effed that up as soon as Donald Trump ripped it up. He invoked the sanctions back again, and then after that, it was no point of Iran even abiding by it. Actually, outside as 2019 to 2021, that's when Iran made the biggest gains in their nuclear capability.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This war is crazy. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, well, you already know my sense. I don't like it, but if we can end this by the end of the month, I'll be all right. But if not,
that's the thing is I hope most people feel like that if Trump does try to find an off ramp and this is over in a month. But here's did you see Chris? You know who Chris Murphy is, right?
Yeah.
He posted a thread after that closed session with the Senate by the DOD.
Yeah, I seen it. He was pretty much saying, he was like, bro, I'm concerned. I mean, it doesn't look like we have a real plan. It's like,
Well, he said now the plan is to take out their naval assets and their missiles and a lot of their military assets, which is kind of what seemingly already happened in a large part. But he said, like, okay, what happens when we stop bombing them and they start rebuilding them? The only answer to that is we keep doing this every couple of months. And then,
Yeah,
so is it really ended if it's announced in a month or two, just like
so we're
Midnight
just gonna
Hammer
mow the
operations were
grass.
announced?
So we're just gonna mow the grass on the Iranians for what? The next what 5, 10 years until they just have no missile capabilities?
And we're expecting them to never improve and never get better at like not being targeted. Like I was talking about earlier with the drone interceptors that Ukraine is providing, they developed those and they're like the only thing that works really good against the Shahed right now. They developed those while in an active war, fighting against the Russians. So obviously, Iran is going to be able to innovate if this keeps happening. Like I don't think they'll keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again.
Oh, hold on here now. The guy's video, the guy I was just reacting to, he actually put out like a post about an hour ago, bro. So the New York Times claims that the DO Department of War has reached a verdict that the U.S. did strike the Iranian school with a tomahawk, and this is like, ongoing military investigations have determined that the United States is responsible for a deadly tomahawk missile strike on an Iranian elementary school, according to U.S. officials and other familiar with the preliminary findings.
Hey, I can't blame anyone that doesn't want it to be true, right?
Me
Like it's
neither. I can't either. I don't want it to be true myself, but I got to get down to the bottom of this.
right. It's horrifying, and like I feel like most people are horrified when they see.
It's got sirens going
Ru-
on.
oh, sorry.
Ooh. Sorry, there was sirens going on and it
Oh, now
completely
you're good.
blocked whatever you were saying out.
Sorry. Yeah. Ambulance drove by or fire truck. But no. When we see like videos and images of Russians targeting civilian infrastructure, like playgrounds and schools, or Israel doing it in Gaza, I mean, most people are horrified by that, and there's just another level to it when it's your own damn country, you know.
Not a cope, bro. The cope is real. Hey, no, he said, he said, members of the press have quit working out of the Pentagon for refusing to agree to no leaking and seeking Pentagon/military staff for such reasons. Further, the Pentagon has gone after members of the military for leaking accurate and false information to the press. Kind of makes you wonder how many times we have seen false statements from anonymous sources familiar with the matter. So he's pretty much trying to say that these guys don't know what they're talking about, aka the military investigators don't know what they're talking about, and these are the guys who talked into the New York Times. Like,
He's
this is
still doubling down.
bro, and this is the guy's video I just reacted to.
Oh
Like,
gosh,
doubling down. This was an hour ago, bro. An hour ago.
dude, and the people that do this for free, man, like he better be getting paid by the Trump administration to do this amount of fucking
Nah, he's getting that 7,000.
propaganda.
He's getting
Yeah.
7,000.
Or
Don't worry.
maybe he just believes in the American military so much that that's why he's doing it.
Well, that's
also
ignorant.
true. I mean, I
No,
don't know, but
it's
we can relate
not.
to it.
It's loyalty.
But the American military has committed atrocities many, many, many
Every
times. We're not
military. Every military has committed atrocities many, many, many times.
exactly. That's why
But
you
there are
shouldn't
some
blindly just
people
trust the military.
there are some people that are extremely loyal. It has nothing to do with
Yeah.
ignorance. It has to do with loving the military, being from a military family, and
If you're
believing the best in our military. There are people like that, and there's
if
nothing
you
wrong
want
with that.
if you want to believe the best about your military, you should hold them accountable when they make mistakes like this. You shouldn't just wipe it under the rug, you know?
No one's trying to swipe it under the rug.
No,
This guy
not
is.
you, Tove, but no, people on, sadly, our side have been trying to sweep this under the rug. They've been trying to say, oh, no, it's not true. It's actually Iran and all this wild stuff. But as more and more evidence come out, now we got apparently conclusive evidence that's probably going to start hitting the CNN, Fox News within the next couple of hours that, yeah, we were responsible for the deadly Tomahawk missile strike. And here's a problem. Now, when we got confirmation, we got people out here just crashing out, going like, oh, no, this couldn't be true. I wouldn't be surprised if this was proven false later. It can't be. It's fake news. It's the New York Times. It's like, bro,
Yeah,
Like,
how can you be like so loyal to the military that you're fucking arguing with the military's own conclusion?
exactly. And that's where it's kind of
I
getting a bit
again,
delusional.
like I said, there are people that are that loyal to the military.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
if your loyalty is like blinding you to the truth, then you're loyal to a fault, and you should be criticized for it.
But all right,
Well,
though, I
and
do
he
want to
is
get
getting
over.
criticized.
All
Right.
right, now I do want to get over to my man John B. He says hashtag Iranians are literally celebrating freedom. Boy, where? Well, like what? In Australia, sure. In America, in the UK, sure, but not in Tehran. They're
So,
hiding.
real
Actually, you know,
quick,
the places that we've been bombing, the places that we've been bombing are what? These highly liberal areas where most of the people there don't agree with the Ayatollah, aka we're killing the people who don't support the Ayatollah since we're bombing these main cities. Mainly the supporters, the hardcore supporters of the Ayatollah live out there in the country, in the outskirts of the city. Where are we
so
bombing? Where all the highly educated Iranians are at? In the capital.
hey, I got a quick question for you.
Mhm.
Did you apparently Iran was originally like the Dubai of the Middle East back in the at least the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. But when they had the Shah and they had like a little fair
Yeah.
dealings with Israel, like bro, they
I
used
didn't
to be
realize
cool with
they were
Israel.
that. I didn't realize they were that. Uh, I didn't realize they were basically the Dubai. I knew they were. I knew they were in a much better position, but I didn't realize it was
Oh,
that good.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
It
great.
was
It
a
was great for
playground.
those who were at the top, and then after a while, the Shah got a bit authoritarian.
Yeah,
They started skipping out on. I mean, they started skimming money from the people, and then things went awry. But for
yeah.
anybody thinking that, oh, Iranians are celebrating the strikes on their country, yeah, the ones outside of it, but the ones inside of it, they're living in terror. And be real with you.
And, yeah, and so like even if they were initially celebratory about the strikes or the ones that killed Khomeini, at least, I think the blowing up of the energy infrastructure and desalination plants and schools are going to turn them against this pretty quickly,
Yeah.
especially when it's raining oil down on you. And that's going to cause, like, who knows the amount of ecological damage and health consequences that's going to cause for the millions of people living in Tehran
And here's the
or
thing,
around the
though,
area.
and I would love to think that we're just striking military targets, but bro, we've even struck one of their like media centers.
Do
Yeah.
you
Just
still
hold
have
on, what does that
that
have to do with
list?
military?
Well, you
Do
could
you
make the
still have that?
argument that it has to do with military because it's state-ran media,
Okay, all
but
right, that's
Yeah.
fair. All right, that's fair.
Do you still have that list that they came out with for the U.S.'s surrender, quote unquote?
Oh yeah, for us to pretty much surrender to that. Well, for them to surrender to us is what they pretty much.
Oh,
Yeah, for them to surrender to us, they said, look, if you want us to surrender, you're gonna have to take off all the sanctions. You gotta apologize for the bombing of the school. I mean, bro, they had some pretty
yeah.
crazy points there.
And didn't
Even
they
I
say to
was,
the Gulf states, like, hey, we'll
oh,
stop bombing you if you kick out the Americans from your
oh
country?
yeah, no more American bases too. I was like, oh man, they're trying to hit us where it hurts.
Yeah.
Monty wants to know if he can come up
Oh yeah, go ahead.
because he thinks he's still unable to.
Oh no, he's
Also,
oh
Blocked
Seth, did
wise.
you see
let me see here.
it was like an ABC report that the FBI has warned a bunch of police departments in California that Iran wants to strike the West Coast with drones?
It's like, come on. Well, like they're trying to fearmonger. At a
Well,
certain point, this is
I don't
fear
know.
mongering.
I don't think
Because the
Shaheeds
other,
are that capable
the
of
first,
going that far.
well, I
Oh,
don't know because last week our National Guard there was something up in the sky, and because I live right next to the Ohio National Guard or the Ohio Air National Guard, and they took off like they don't do practices or exercises on weekdays at night. They do them on the weekends. And they started hauling ass. They weren't even in formation. They just started hauling ass after this thing.
Hmm.
So, and I'm not getting anything from the guys up at the truck stop. And usually they're pretty open about talking about their their exercises and stuff. They like doing that. They like being, they're guys, they're military, they're young.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and get back to Caroline Levitt. Let's see what she got to say.
And SDNY have announced they are charging those two individuals and alleged terrorists, and I know they won't rest until justice is sought in this case. Daniel.
Thank you, Caroline. Appreciate it. Millions of Americans are filing taxes for the first time since the president signed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act into law. New reports say that new IRS data says that the average federal
tell Monty to try again.
Okay, we'll do.
Around $3,800, a little bit up from the last period of last year. Does the president believe that the average federal tax refund increasing this year could provide a little bit more economic growth, something that he's been very focused on as the year progresses?
Absolutely. And Americans are going to start benefiting from the fruits of President Trump and Republicans' labor through the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill and these historic tax cuts. We are midway through tax season, so just to provide an update from the Treasury Department.
Oh, hold on. And shout out to my man Jet. He says, so what intel was the Department of War going off of, the CIA or the Mossad? I mean, that's also a good question, too. I think they just went off their own military analysis. They were just trying to slow roll it. They were probably hoping and praying that it wasn't what they were thinking it was.
I'm surprised this came out while the operation's still going on. I thought they'd wait till it was over and then kind of quietly release it. But
strategically, that'd have been smart. I'm not even gonna lie, smart, but you wouldn't really be seen as trustworthy after that. But hold on, man.
Yeah.
Let's shout out to my man Monty, bro. Monty, what's going on?
What up, big dog? So I am not gonna take the tard position. I spoke to my mom about this, who's very familiar with how Tomahawks and Patriots work. But so she said, as soon as the command level and the 72-hour report, that the one that we got like right after this happened, that's the command general internal review. And she said if they said that we likely hit it, then we absolutely hit it. Like there's like that, because you can and I suspected this, like you can literally go into the strike package data and go down to the individual sailor or individual airman or individual soldier that directed that missile to where it went. So it's a very simple, did we have coordinates at this location? Yes or no? So it sounds like they did that initial report, found out, yeah, we had that coordinates, the ones that are in the school, typed into a Tomahawk somewhere, and that's what hit. So, but I wanted to address something you said about the strike location.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was hitching his whole wagon. And now, obviously, more than likely, he's wrong about this, but it was very good speculation. Simply put, we know the missile came from the water, and the point that he was making is it came from northwest going south. So any way you cut it, if you put the pin on any position in the water, it would have to come all the way around and button hook to go down to so that you could get the viewing angle that you've seen with the Tomahawk. And then the second point is not that sometimes the Tomahawks dive like that. It's one variant that can dive like that. The rest of them do not have the capability to dive like that. Like
Okay,
at that steep angle.
Okay. But okay, that was the only problem though, because if he'd just put like a circle on, all right, well, this is where it could have been, and these are how all the trajectories it could have took. I mean, that may have been a bit complicated, but
yeah,
that was my main problem, was him pretty much.
I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
It could have came from anywhere in the water. We more than likely it came from the water. It wasn't launched by land. But for it to have come from the water, you could literally put that pin anywhere. And in order to get the trajectory that you saw in the video of the Tomahawk going down, it would have had to have done what he said, go inland and then turn around. Like, it doesn't make sense that we would send it up through enemy land, because you got this point wrong as well. The longer a war goes on, the less accurate you get. When the war initially starts, their interceptors are ready to go. So there is a chance, if you're flying over enemy land, that your shit's going to get knocked down. So he's right in what he's saying. as a war goes longer, like say 2, 3, 4 weeks, munitions start getting less accurate because you haven't done the PMs on those munitions to make them as accurate as they are, and that goes for our munitions as well as theirs. And that's why he was also saying he didn't put this out, but my mom filled this piece of information in that I just gave you. Is the reason he was so skeptical on why we hit the corner of a building is because, like, to your point, this was the very beginning of the attacks. Every tomahawk that's firing should absolutely be pinpoint accurate. It's only as they go later in and they don't do the preventative maintenances, say they don't dust the cobwebs off the fucking tails, they start losing accuracy. That's why. So every point that he made from a munitions standpoint was correct. Like the way we would fire them, the way they would travel, every single one of them, and even up to the viewing angle and the inconsistencies with what a tomahawk looks like and what an Iranian cruise missile. And I don't believe if Trump said that Iran has tomahawks, that's not true. They have cruise missiles. They absolutely do have cruise missiles, which was giving air to that claim that this was an Iranian cruise missile. But all of that, literally everything that I just said, is irrelevant if the United States military themselves is saying we did this.
Yeah. Right, and that's the problem.
Literally everything
even
I
though
just
he
said.
could be talking about, even though he could be correct in what he's talking about in terms of munitions, the amount of evidence that he's working with to speculate in that way, and it wasn't just mere speculation. He was trying to make a positive claim.
He was trying to assert it. Yeah.
And so there's just not
I think
enough
that's what
known
anybody is
about some of the
doing.
stuff he was talking about.
And unless you are CENTCOM, unless you are the IRGC and making statements, everything everybody has said is speculation. Literally everything everybody has said is speculation. Nothing is. It might come from more informed sources, like you might have someone that works in missile defense saying, "Hey, no, this is how this works." That is still speculation because stuff is fucking compartmentalized above you, unless you're the one that did the mission, and then that's treason if you're telling people that.
Yeah, except more and more evidence has just come out to the contrary of like the people that are claiming that the U.S. didn't do it or couldn't have done it.
I didn't. I refuse to accept any speculation as proof of anything. I want to hear from CENTCOM, yes, this is what we did. No, this is not what we did. Because they do. They absolutely know fucking what they hit, how many people they hit. The issue that I still have lingering in my head is now that I'm seeing clearer pictures of the building, how did 160 people die in what's essentially 500 square feet? That's my question I would like to pose, because that building, the building that's actually affected, like, you have videos of them inside the classrooms and the classrooms aren't blown out. What, like, how did 180 people or whatever the thing is now, or 111 girls and like 50 staff, how did all of those people die? Where were they all sitting right there as the missile blew up?
Possibly. I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but like I said, it could have been held in assembly and it just happened to hit them at the right time. Well,
yeah. And do we know if it was like multiple stories, like one or two with a basement? Like, I don't know. These are all questions that would be revealed.
Like it was two stories. Yeah, to me it looks like it was 2 stories and a roof, which could have been 3 stories. Maybe they were, eating lunch out on the balcony. I don't know. But I will say this, and I don't know how much shit I'm gonna get for this, but when a tomahawk is going to the ground, there is a feed on it. Like there is a sailor watching that missile go in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like fire and forget, and you don't have any spotters on the ground. We make sure to the point that our Patriot missile defense systems can shoot one out of the sky if it's going awry.
Yeah. And I think one of the big issue with this is like admitting to any of this, which I'm trusting that they will if we did it, which it looks like we did. But admitting to it would have to be admitting a mistake somewhere and admitting imperfection. And I think this administration, above others, is really hesitant to do that. Whether it be they were going off old data that they had or old intelligence that they had, whether it was
So
like something
let
that
me give you
AI
a
told
piece of
them,
information. Let me give
like
you a
they
piece of
could.
information. Every one of these reports or whatever, after you have a loss of life or casualties, has to be closed and definitive within 30 days. So
Right.
there's a piece of information that you can hold the Trump administration to. If it takes more than 30 days for this report to be concluded, and every single detail, and they're good at explaining details. Like if you've ever read an IRGC, or not an IRGC, commanding CGRI, commanding general
Freudian slip.
response incident. It's very, very, very specific. Like, go look up the USS Greenville when it surfaced and killed that Japanese fishing boat. Like, it is very, 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 very detailed, and you can see who made the fuck up. If it was a fuck up, I maintain that if we hit this building, we hit it for a reason. We did it on purpose.
Yeah.
And
But that could still mean
that, and
that
it
could still
even
be there was a mistake there. Like it could be
it
off
was a
bad
mistaken
intelligence.
intelligence, but a purposeful strike.
Yeah.
And
But
Hey, I'll be
also,
right
Monty,
back,
something
guys.
that concerns me. Something that concerns me is I don't know if you guys saw this. It came out a few months ago. Came out last year, I think. But in Trump's
Mhm.
first term, there was this operation that we tried to conduct on the coast of North Korea, and it got foiled by basically some North Korean fishermen. And our special forces just kind of unloaded and killed all these fishermen. And we didn't get reports on that until like 7 years later, 6 years later. So
it
I
might
don't,
have been. It
I
might
don't know.
have
I
been
do have a lot
classified.
of skepticism about. But you said like these death reports have to come out whenever there's a death at all. There was a death in that
Correct.
situation. There was deaths in that situation. Yeah, we
Correct.
didn't
They
hear
have to
anything
come
about
out,
it.
but the president, and the Joint Chiefs can absolutely classify those reports. So
Yeah, I get.
that.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
now
true.
that there's so much attention on this particular incident, I don't think that they can classify it. They might try to, because this is egg on our face.
But that would just be an admission in itself. Nobody would buy that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't think, and I will still maintain this until I die. I do not think that there is a person, number one, in the United States government that's like, you know what, school, girls' school, yeah, that's a legitimate target. Let's fuck that up.
I definitely don't think there are in the higher ups, and I really don't want to believe that. I don't think that that's the most likely case at all. But I think that there could be some soldiers that, like you were talking about the other day, it might have been on Discord, that there are some people that, or maybe it was gaming, some people that join the military just because they want to kill, and
Absolutely. But there's people like that are there. So there's so many checks and balances to operating a munition like that. It's not even funny. It's not just one guy steering it. It's a watch commander with fucking X, Y, and Z. Now, that's not to say that there couldn't have been a failure in leadership, because that's usually what happens when shit like this happens. It's a failure in leadership somewhere.
Mhm.
Because it is so fucking binary. It's go, no go, yes, no, fucking down to the 10th digit on the grid coordinate. And it I'm having I'm this is boding well for Iran. So I think this is what is going on personally. I think we made a fuck up, or maybe it wasn't a fuck up. Maybe it was a legitimate military target. Maybe they were taking somebody out in that school. They didn't know it was a school because their intel is 10 years old or 5 years old or 3 years old or whatever. Because every point he brought
they
up,
did the collateral damage cost analysis
cost
there, and was like,
analysis.
this one guy is worth taking out X amount of civilians, which does
So
happen. I mean, people do that cost analysis.
there are formulas that our government takes, but it is always in accordance with the Geneva Conventions and the IWC or IHC, the International Humanitarian Law Council. Like every single one of those decisions is run through that. So if we,
I mean, yes, but also I feel like Pete Hegseth has said, like, I don't exactly know what he's referencing, but it leads me to believe it's like international law and Geneva Convention when he says, like, no more politically correct war, no more woke war, like, no
so
more
no
of this
more
pussy
politically
shit.
correct war refers
He
to,
says, like,
yes,
do away with rules of engagement. Like, and
yes,
that is
rules
a
of
rule of
engagement are what we
engagement.
did. So you have to understand the history of the Iraq War to understand what he's saying, because he personally served in the Iraq War. The rules of engagement in 2003 followed international law. They absolutely did. The rules in 2015 or 2011, when the rules of engagement changed to you had to be shot at and sustain casualties, is what he's talking about. That's the politically correct war, because we were trying to win quote unquote hearts and minds. And if we just went and fucking attacked every single thing that was a legitimate military target, it's kind of hard to win quote unquote hearts and minds. That's what people refer to when we want the rules of engagement changed, because we don't care about hearts and minds. We care about achieving our mission quickly and expeditiously with the least amount of casualties on our side. And
Well, that's fair,
that's where
Monty,
the
but
political correctness comes in. It's not
I'm
about
saying right
international
now,
law.
I'm saying right now, he's never been very clear about that, and it does lend into, like, he doesn't really give a fuck about international law or the Geneva Convention, or because
No,
he's very
so that
vague about it
lends
when he talks about it.
that lends to it from someone on the outside looking in. But anybody that understands how the rules of engagement changed in the Iraq War, in the Afghanistan War, understands what he's talking about. And I am one of those people that watched the rules of engagement change and then watched the death toll go higher and higher and higher and higher, because we had to take losses before we could return fire. That's within the laws of war. That's like the most lenient possible way to conduct
Did
war, but it's also
did
going to give you the
civilian
most
casualties
casualties.
go down when
No,
the
they did
rules of
not.
engagement
No,
changed?
no, they did
Because
not.
it seems
There's
like
like what?
there. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Civilian casualties did not go down, not because we weren't shooting civilians, but because the bombs that were going off were killing other civilians too in order to hit us.
Was the rules
If
of
you don't push,
engagement changed because of a response to some of the stuff we saw our people doing over there in terms of how they conducted themselves? Things like Abu Ghraib,
that doesn't change
stuff like
rules of
that.
engagement. So
I mean,
pissing.
that could change the policy. They could be like, okay, well, we need to change rules of engagement here because we're being a little too gung ho on what we're doing with civilians and people that have been taken
So
out of combat.
civilian casualties did not decrease. Civilian casualties remained steady at the same rate that they were going. Remember, we have always had the capability since bombs over Baghdad to strike with very fucking pinpoint precision. So if we make a cost analysis on something, there is a bigger story to it than 111 kids died. There is a much bigger story to that than that.
And
Or
all right, guys.
maybe their cost analysis was just lopsided. I don't know.
All right, now we did spend a good amount of time on this conversation. Let's get over to the next video, guys. All right.
The war between the United States and Iran is growing and expanding, at least as of now. 7 Americans are confirmed killed in the conflict as of today. Casualties are rising. Iran reportedly has selected a new supreme leader. Iran's Assembly of Experts selected Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini, the 56-year-old son of the late Ayatollah. Many analysts view Mojtaba as more radical than his father. He built strong ties within Iran's IRGC,
He looks nicer.
Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is the most hardline military faction in the country. He also played a role in slaughtering people after the 2009 protests in Iran. He won't be winning any human rights awards. Nevertheless, he received the adoration of a huge crowd in Tehran after the announcement of his selection. To be clear, that was not a crowd gathered to greet Americans.
Now, it has been reported that this guy was injured during a strike, and he has injuries to his leg. So, right now he is out of public eye. Like, even for his grand appearance, they brought out a cutout cardboard of this guy's face on it. And, everybody just went wild.
Didn't this guy lose like his entire family in these strikes already?
Yes, he did. He lost his wife. He lost his daughter. I mean, bro, I was like, damn, wife, daughter, and father. I was like, yeah, he's on a revenge trail. But
I'm gonna level with you guys. Don't be surprised if he gets taken out.
I'm gonna be real with you.
I won't be.
I won't
Don't
be.
be.
So
I
I'll be
mean,
real with you.
like, I
I
hate
don't.
But
to
guys,
say it
he
'cause
nicer. He
I
does
mean,
look nicer.
he does look a little.
just because he doesn't look as old, he doesn't look like the bearded lady anymore. But
Well, then, if
I
he
hate to
does, we
say it
can
because
we can put in his grandson. We could put in Khomeini's grandson, right?
Yeah.
no, it does not make sense to put the guy that's going to be more radicalized by the fact that his family just
Father.
got killed as power
Yeah.
as a power structure. That it's
Well, it
not going
seems
to
like we
fly.
don't really have a choice because Trump said he wanted to
Oh,
pick the next, have a hand in the next
we do.
leader, and then they just picked this guy.
Yeah, so they'll pick this guy and he'll say nope and swipe left on him, literally, and fucking delete him. I don't agree with that because I believe that you should be prosecuted for things that you commit after you commit them, not before you commit them. But that's this is now war. It's overwhelming power to force submission. It's not we're gonna wait and see how this goes. This is not a Iranian coup. This is a war.
Yep. But all right, let's get back to it.
Unlike his father, who sometimes balanced factions, Mustafa's power base lies primarily in the most anti-American factions of the military and clerical leadership. He has the opportunity to change. We are describing the history to you accurately. So we killed the Ayatollah, and things may have gotten worse. Joining us now, retired Army Lieutenant General, former National Security Advisor to President Trump, former Director of National Intelligence for President Obama, General Michael Flynn. General, we now see fronts opening up in this war in Lebanon, in Iraq. Do you see the war as expanding or contracting in the current moment?
Yeah, I think it's expanding, Matt. I honestly, and I also think that we're going to see a front here in the United States of America. There's some reporting now of some communications that apparently have been intercepted about waking up some of these sleeper cells right here in America. So when we talk about this war is not going to be just isolated to the Persian Gulf.
I don't know why, but I believe they have terrorist cells, but I don't know about the sleeper cells. Just because
that's what a terrorist cell is. Set. It's a sleep.
No. It's like they're different. They're a bit different. Like the terrorist cell, they're all all together. Well, I would say this: they're not as trained well as sleepers. Like actual sleepers, literally get trained
in spies
the American way.
And
right?
Yeah.
my thing is,
like it's a lot more like time and detail to get a sleeper than a terrorist cell.
Yeah,
Because
so
a
that
terrorist
would
cell
have
over a bunch of immigrants who cross the border. A sleeper, you actually got to train that guy in American schools, literature, cartoons. You got to actually make him an actual American, then ship him off to America like the Russians do.
Can I make a statement then, based off of this? So we were told for years and years and years that we weren't going to have any sleeper cells. That immigration from all these Muslim countries was not going to cause any problems in the United States. And now are they admitting that they were wrong about that and that Trump was right to put a ban on Arab countries traveling to the United States? If
Iran isn't an Arab country, man. Iran's different, and Iran is an Arab country, and the only time people started complaining about this was after Joe Biden, his administration, where a bunch of people came in. But there's still no evidence of this. This is just speculation. We haven't have any evidence of sleeper cells. Like, it's still just speculation at this point.
But there's intel coming out. According to this guy, he is a general. Remember. He is saying
Michael
that there's
Flynn, like Pizzagate Flynn. This guy is like a huge conspiracy theorist.
He's a general in the military. So if anybody's going to be a conspiracy theorist and be listened to, it probably should be the guy that's seen what he's conspirizing.
And he got kicked out of Trump's administration for being fucking crazy, man.
I like
So either one of two things is correct. Either Trump was right when he instituted the Arab ban in his first term. This is before Biden let all these people across the border. Remember, or Trump was wrong and there is no sleeper cells or terrorist cells in the United States, and immigration
Well,
works
no,
perfectly fine.
like Seth was saying, a sleeper cell would oftentimes be a person that's already a citizen. These
Yeah.
people are going to be people that are hard to get out. They're integrated into the country completely, maybe even born here, or maybe they were sent to a different country and then came here and have been living
Absolutely.
here amongst us for years and years. So, like, doing a Muslim ban on Arab states is not going to solve that problem.
I
And
mean,
that's
it'll
what I
slow
was
down the
actually going to
extremism
say.
flowing over the border.
If it exists, it wouldn't solve that problem. But like, it would solve the problem of like random terrorists coming over, I guess. But the sleeper cell thing, no.
Right,
And
but
that's what
so
I
how
was.
do sleeper cells usually communicate with handlers, though, that are of the original terrorist cell?
Oh, guys, and shout out to Nurse Terry Irving. She says, "Who says he hasn't committed any crimes yet just because he's not in charge yet?" Well, hey, he was basically a key figure
Hey,
in
Seth.
the Revolutionary Guard. Yeah, what's up?
Set.
So
Yeah,
Terry told me to tell you her name is Terry Vinning.
Vinning.
It's not Irving.
Wow.
Like read read
Vinning.
through it. Yeah, it's Terry Vinning.
Oh, sorry, Terry.
I
Sorry,
missed that
sis.
too.
Man.
So no, that was what I was gonna say, because when you were talking about sleeper cells the other day, Set, I was gonna say I was trying to say, or they were actually being the parents were sent over here to have
Yep.
kids here, and then they had
Yeah.
integrate into American life, but kept the radicalization in the home.
Yeah, like the goal of a sleeper cell is to be so like American. If we're talking about getting bringing a person into America, making that person sleeper cell, is the goal is to make them so American they're indistinguishable. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
you'd have found out, bro, was a sleeper cell, and you're like, but bro, you know all the American lingo, you know all the history. I mean, you're
that's
You
my
were
IT guy.
you were my
Yeah,
kid's godparent. There were some that they found out. This was decades ago in another sleeper cell in another country, but someone found out their kid's godparent was part of a sleeper cell.
yeah,
And
it's
that's
hard to call them
so
out.
just mentioning sleeper cell is, and like coming from Iran, is enough. You don't even actually have to have the sleeper cells in the United States. Like just saying, oh, there might be sleeper cells in the United States is enough to create enough division and enough chaos to
Yep.
achieve the same objective.
Because think about it, now I'm gonna be weary of almost every Iranian I see. If we're talking about sleeper cells, then I gotta be weary of every Iranian I see, especially the ones that speak perfect English.
Yeah, and that's by design. And it's not by our design to make Americans fucking panic. Again, that goes contrary to what the government wants. They want us all to be docile and fucking on TikTok all day. They don't want us being oh my god, and creating mass pandemonium and mass chaos. It will do. 9/11 did more damage to the American way of life than just killing 3,000 people.
I don't think that. I don't necessarily think that's true, Monty. I think some governments like it when there is mass pandemonium and panic because it gives an excuse and a pretext for stronger crackdown. And like you're saying with 9/11, that gave us the Patriot Act,
and so, but that wasn't our. We weren't trying to create mass pandemonium and mass chaos in our own country and stifle the American movement. We want Americans moving around because that helps our economy. That would help the quote unquote elites that everybody bitches and moans about get more money. Now we have all of these things in place that slow down progress, slow down things, security checks on planes, and it's all security theater for the record. I just want to say that, but at the same token, you don't get to read about the planes that don't crash. You don't get to read about the terrorist attacks that don't happen because it's a self-feeding. It's like eating your tail. It's like a snake eating its tail. It's not good for the country.
Probably make you too paranoid. I get what you're saying. Because, like, bro,
and
let's say we heard about a story every time like a sleeper cell got captured, bro. We wouldn't probably trust any foreigner outside if you're like white, black, or Hispanic. Like, we wouldn't trust anybody outside of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so and if we wanted to do that, all we'd have to do is release all of the information that we have on sleeper cells that we have captured. If we actually, because what Sid is insinuating is that Trump is trying to create mass panic and fucking divide the country so that he can have more authoritarian rule. And that is a legitimate claim. But in order for that to be true or to be visible, he would have to, and it wouldn't be lying. He would just say, oh yeah, these are all the sleeper cells we've captured in the United States. And this is what we've done here to stop this. And this is what they've done here. And it would literally just check boxes in everybody's head to be like, I don't trust anybody. That's if Trump were
I mean,
trying
they
to
do
do
try
it.
to do that. They do try to do that with bringing out like the worst of the worst, often people that they just got from prisons who are already in state prisons and handed over. But when they bring out these people that are terrorists or criminals or gang members and talk about in like gory detail what they did, that is to sow distrust in the American mind about any immigrants, and it's worked very well because
I don't
even
I
though
don't
now
think
the
that
deputy chief of staff now the deputy chief of staff is telling congressional Republicans not to talk as much about mass deportations. We did, in fact, have a president that won on mass deportations based on the fear that he helped stoke.
I mean, but every single thing he did was, I mean, every person that he put up there was a criminal. Like that
Yeah, but
you
they're
can't
not
get away.
highlighting the good immigrants, the ones that maybe just came here, skipped the line. The only crime they committed was crossing the border illegally, but then they were like a
Because
family
that's not who
man
we're
and did
going
everything by the
after.
book. But
That's
that's
not
a
who we're
large
going
part of
after.
the people that have been deported. We have deported all of that, like people that do that. Like we've deported grandmas, you know, we've deported
I mean,
children.
deporting grandmas that broke the law was also what he ran on. Like
Well,
we're
you just said that those aren't the people we're going after, though. But we are. That's
we're
what I
not
was
going
responding to.
after them when they get caught up in a raid. Say your Oswela that you fucking you live with is also an illegal immigrant. You're
Abuela,
an
not
illegal immigrant.
Abuela.
Well,
No,
all
I
right,
can't
guys.
Monty, we
fucking
Well,
are
stand
we
because
got a bit off topic there, guys. Let's get right back
well,
to the
real quick.
video.
Can I make one last point on it? One
Go
last
ahead.
point on it. We were and we are going after those people because they're softer targets and they're giving us numbers like quota numbers to meet. They're giving ICE quotas. And so they go after the softer targets, the people that are showing up in courtrooms, the people that are dropping their kids off at school, the people that are trying to find work. That's why they've been stationed outside of Home Depots and gas stations.